Yep, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote a book. Okay, so the thing is, I've been very busy. I wanted to upload a couple of videos, and there were so many different ideas, so many different subjects I wanted to talk about, and I've been extremely busy these past couple of months. One of them was because I was writing this, the other one was that a bunch of those ideas that wanted to turn into YouTube videos turned into something extremely bigger than that. They basically turned into articles that I had to give to our university. Then one of them turned into what would you call it? Some sort of a course. I wouldn't call it a course, but anyway, it was like a workshop of some kind that we wanted to handle in our university again. And all that went to shit because there was a war. And aside from that, ruining basically every single schedule that everyone had, I also didn't know what I would do. Like I was in this state that, well, I mean, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I can't do any of it. But anyway, putting those aside, I will upload a bunch of videos in the next couple of days, but I've wanted to talk about this one. It's a book that I've been meaning to write for a very long time. Actually, the first thoughts that I had about it began basically, I think, 2 years ago. I would say like a year or 2 years ago. Those very first manuscripts for the book just started off, but then a lot has happened since then. And aside from a lot happening since then, I also participated in a lot of different, classes, a lot of different things that I learned from writing and from basically reading many different books. I came to the conclusion that that book that I started 2 years ago could do some good being rewritten. So that's what I did. I rewrote the whole thing and started to, implement some better ideas into it. What the book is about, you might say. What is it about? The book is basically an amalgamation of every single idea that I have had reading plenty of philosophical or psychological books during the course of 2 years. Plenty of therapies that I had to go to, plenty of people that I met that had different ideas and different philosophies. This book is basically a summarization of all of that, told in a tale or a fantastical journey of some kind with plenty of characters that are all just symbolism, euphemism, and they're meant for people who are interested in those topics. The I would love to read it all for you, but I think that it would be way better if you just read the whole thing yourself. And it's not very long. It's 87 pages long. Where is it? There. It's 87 pages long, and the fact that this thing, I mean, although you can't see this is a paperback copy, and I do have a couple of them, but it did not get the okay from the higher ups in the government and all the publishing things around Iran and all of that. Basically, it's proved to me that this thing is actually saying something good for a change. I was wondering if I actually said something that wasn't worth a while or wasn't moving enough or anything like that. But since it did not get publishing rights, and I'm not allowed to publish this for like more than 100 copies or something like that, and if people find out that I've been doing that and like selling this book around, they could easily report me, and then I would go to jail for it. Yeah, it's a crime to write a book like this. So that basically proved to me that this is actually a good book, because like there's so many different books about serial killers, about plenty of crimes, murders, things like that. There's plenty of books that are basically nonsense teenage related books that are just people talking about their erotic fantasies and things like that. And this book didn't get publishing rights, so it basically just proved to me that you wrote something good. If you wrote something absolutely horrendous, then it wouldn't get it, then it would probably get publishing rights. But since you actually said something good, then they had to just stop it. So I think that if you guys have the time, if you could read it yourself, you would actually do yourself plenty of favors. Because, as I said, it's basically me going through different philosophies: existentialism, absurdism, nihilism, things like that, cynicism, a lot of stuff. Uh, that, along with a story, it's pretty good. Many of the books that I read tried very hard to talk about some different aspects of their philosophical uh, manifestos or their ideas and things like that, but they just became this very dull and boring book that just dragged on and on and on and didn't really get anywhere. But when it's told through a story, and especially if it's like something like a high fantasy book, it basically just it becomes more attractive, in my opinion. So aside from what the book is about, I wrote this when I was very, very, I was very unhappy, I would say. And writing this basically helped me to become extremely confident and, just handle my trauma, I would say, much easier. Uh, it basically allowed me to rethink and recap everything that I learned, alongside telling it to some other people and also teaching it to other people as well. So, a lot of stuff in the book that talks about, some unhappy or tragic things, it's all just me, because I'm telling what I feel and what I've been through, especially things about lack of sleep, depression, and paranoia, things like that. It's all here. And when I talk about it, I'm basically talking about myself and my experiences in those times and those time periods. I would love to read the first introduction to the book. I say the first introduction as if there's two introductions here. There's an introduction segment here. I would love to read it for you, and then we'll be on our way to some better videos, because I would love to do those as well. And there's plenty of ideas that need to be put to video. God damn it, what's wrong with this page? Okay. So, hopefully I'll do this justice. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but my nose is still killing me. I've been ill for like a week, and I'm still recovering from that. That was a month ago. So my schism was bitter, already to a great start. A sour separation, a series of events led by a small stone that, with each rolling of the days into nights and nights into days, became more and more entangled between the cold, cold snow and drew other small stones together, eventually creating a destructive avalanche. An avalanche that entombed me within myself, letting nothing go in nor out, turning all that was inside of me rancid, foul. Nothing was spared. None of my beliefs, my emotions, my morals, pillars of my very being, all turned into a decomposing, now lifeless and dry, powerless plant. I became nothing, empty. And after all the war and battles within my own mind, after the blizzard that ruined the world I perceived, remained nothing but a blank darkness. Not even the pain that small bits of snow created, not even the piercing, freezing helplessness remained. Everything shut down. I looked around myself, trying to find pieces of me to pick up and glue myself back together, but through the nothingness and darkness that plagued all and everything, no sun, no moon, nothing. I couldn't find anything to pick up. I tried to walk, I couldn't. There was nowhere to sit, nowhere to go, and nowhere to lay my head. It all seemed over. No, it seemed like a life sentence to live in this emptiness. Not even the mercy of death would be blessed upon me. Cursed to live with what I have. This led to phantoms, passing murmurs and whispers all around the void that I inhabit now. As if trying to reach out, I could see their moving mouths, but I couldn't make out any words. Not that any of the words would fill in anything. Among the phantoms, I saw something like a glimmer of hope, a sick mockery that seemed to be making fun of me, every time leading me towards itself and then showing me how it was nothing but a fraud. I could now walk, mad at the tyranny of that small of sorry, mad at the tyranny of that small stone brought upon me. Moving, wandering, trying to find something tangible, something to keep, hope, shelter, peace, a friend perhaps, a family to be with, a shoulder to cry on. I became a stray dog, wandering around for something, going door to door, begging for help, somehow surviving through the mercy of what the owners give me. Me, who was just like these people not too long ago, didn't take long until this stray dog, sorry, got himself in a maze of streets and alleyways he doesn't recognize. A spider web designed to entangle him within himself. I walked aimlessly from one place to the other, trying to escape, or at least find something other than the brick walls that created this structure, a mission that was also forgotten by the hands of time. Now, my entire property and my only remnant is this one query to send onto the ether. May it be answered by someone or something somehow, for I have lost my mind in the process of solving it to no avail. Truly, what am I looking for? And that's the introduction. Sorry, I mean I wrote the thing, but I cannot read it myself. It's hard for me. Sorry. Like when I'm reading it, I just keep flashing back to different stories and different things that I went through. It just that's what happens. So anyway, how can you get your hands on this? If you're living abroad, you could go and check out the Amazon link down below and get your hands on an ebook. If you were living here, you could call me. You could email me whenever you want, and I will send you a PDF link to it because I can't sell you this thing. I can go and print some of the paperbacks, but then I will probably end up in prison. I'm living in Iran. They do imprison writers here. So anyway. that's it. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. It's I mean I tried my best to write something good, and I think that it ended up being something very interesting. That introduction, by the way, has nothing to do with the book itself. It just tells you what it's about, especially that last line, truly what am I looking for, and basically sets the mood for the entire story. The story itself is much more of a fantastical story and it's not the kind of fantastic story like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. It's its own thing. It's closer to Das Spoke Zarathustra than anything else. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Bye bye.